One is every woman feels defenseless somewhere. She feels victimized by men right from the college time or whenever she becomes a young girl. Or always we look at them like a weaker sex in terms of which is the word came because they are defenseless. You know, something happens in her life. I'm talking about now Pooja's character in the film, where a tragedy where she couldn't do anything to help her older sister. So when she sees the film of Bruce Lee, she gets inspired from what he talks and what he feels is necessary to be society machinery, to be problems for them, to learn self-defense, and she takes it as a dedication. She becomes like a Ekalavya, just watching his documentaries and things. And in the whole sequence, at a point of time, she meets a guy, although he gets impressed that he never saw a girl who can do something like this. Or she likes something in him, where even without fighting skill, my लेकिन उनका एक guts है, उनका एक ये aspect है. So there is a love story. Initially, he actually loves what she is, but at a point of time, circumstances की वजह से, he starts hating her obsession for Bruce Lee. And he thinks, in today's time, martial arts, somebody knowing how to punch and kick is an outdated system. If you are pitched against villains with various kinds of weapons, you know. But she has her own, theory about it. So it is like a strange love triangle between her and the boyfriend and Bruce Lee. Because though Bruce Lee is no more, the spirit of Bruce Lee, she is obsessed with it so much that he feels it is wrong for her. In fact, it is going to destroy her. You know? So I would call this film more like a love story against the backdrop of action. Yeah.
Pooja, जब मैं जितना भी हमने देखा वहाँ आपके बहुत दमदार एक्शन नजर आते हैं और जिसमें आप माहिर हैं, आपको उसको समझाने की या बताने की जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन एक्टिंग इज अ वेरी सीरियस थिंग टू डू. तो उसके लिए क्या तैयारियां करी हैं? व्हाट वाज द ब्रीफ द मोमेंट यू केम ऑन बोर्ड?
So initially when we started shooting for Ladki, हमने एक्शन सीक्वेंसेस से शूट करना स्टार्ट किया. तो मेरे लिए काफ़ी इजी रहा बिकॉज मार्शल आर्ट्स मेरा बैकग्राउंड था. तो when we started shooting, तो I was pretty much very comfortable in front of the camera, and by the time we started doing all the acting sequences, काफ़ी इजी रहा मेरे लिए बिकॉज सर का एक स्पेसिफिक ब्रीफ था मेरे कैरेक्टर को लेके, दैट पूजा करने कैसे बात करती है, ऐसे चलती है, उसका एक डिमीनर है. तो उस हिसाब से मैंने परफॉर्म करने के लिए ट्राई किया, एंड सर वाज कॉन्स्टेंटली गाइडिंग मी थ्रू द फिल्म.
सोशल मीडिया पे जिस तरह से कंपैरिजन चल रहा है,
मुझे एक तो प्लीज I basically I will see acting for me as an experienced director always thought of it as expressing an emotion. You know? So when she is training, when I saw her training, I could see the intensity in her body language. Even when she imagines that there is an opponent, even if there is no opponent, that technically comes under acting. You know? So if you have the ability to feel an emotion, and then you don't have the consciousness of the camera, that is ideal combination for an actor. So like she said, when she was doing the action sequences, she got used to the camera. She was no longer conscious about it. And now she has a natural flair for feeling an emotion. If you see, even in the fight sequences, you can see her face is carrying the emotion. It is not just about her body speak. So that's what I think makes it come.
जिस तरह से सोशल मीडिया पे डिस्कशन रहा और सोशल मीडिया में बहुत सी बातें गई हैं, इनका मैं इस फिल्म की बात करता हूँ. रंगीला से हमारे एंकर साहब भी बता रहे थे. आप किस तरह से लेती हैं somebody like उर्मिला, उससे कंपैरिजन हो जाना और किसी भी लिहाज से वो कंपैरिजन हो जाना?
Actually, I mean it's really amazing to see how people are taking the film, like they're comparing it speak to Rangila. But one thing is to be sure that I can never be Urmila ma'am. Like how in the film I'm trying to do action, how Bruce Lee used to do it. I can never be Urmila ma'am. I can never be Bruce Lee. They are just like very unique creatures. So what I'm trying to do here is just just showing my love to Bruce Lee and trying to perform accordingly. So when people compare me to Bruce Lee, they call me the drag girl or a Bruce Lee girl. It makes me really happy, yet I try to keep my legs on the ground. So yeah, when people posted Urmila ma'am's picture on social media and they were comparing me to her, I felt really special. I mean she's beautiful. I would love to be like her.
Pooja, welcome to the world of glitz and glamour, and coming through Ramgopal Varma, you are very lucky. Coming at this time, when women like heroines, they are all craving to do action films. Yeah. Nonetheless, you are the perfect, you have the perfect persona, and you have, whatever we see, you are the perfect match of action and beauty. What do you have to say, about your performances that you've done? And along with action, we can see sex posing. What do you have to say?
I wasn't like this at all when I met her. I came from a sportsman background. I was a total tomboy girl, if you say. When I met her, when I performed in front of him, I was wearing tracksuit and I was very underconfident at that time. But the moment we started working on the project and I started to learn that I should look in a certain way, I should wear a certain type of clothes and carry a certain demeanor. So I started working on that. I started doing my own makeup and wearing a little bit girly clothes, started wearing earrings. So that change from a sportsman to a heroine, it took a very long time for me, and I worked really hard on it. I worked really hard on my body. Like as you can see, I'm wearing bikini and all other clothes are also there. So I'm really proud of what we have achieved with the film, and I think we're just overthinking it, like calling it what did you say? Just the word you used? Yeah, sex posing. I don't think so. That's the point here. We're just trying to empower women. We're just trying to send a message that no matter what clothes you're wearing, whether it's a sari or a bikini or jeans, you should be able to protect yourself. If a scenario like this comes in your life, you should be you should be able to protect yourself.
To add to that, because Pooja is facing the questions for the first time in her life, I think, so I think she's not able to fully practice it. And then I had a long discussion with her in the context of the film. Interesting to the fact that Rangila has been mentioned. Now, when I was making Rangila, Urmila also similarly like Pooja, she's come from a very Maharashtrian middle class background, very conservative family. At that time, I told Urmila, see, if there is no such thing, so there's a very age-old thing when journalists ask, what is it, does a story demand exposure? But no story demands anything. First of all, now it's a question, because the film is a visual, how the actor is looking, there's a layer to it, and which is backed by the story. And because Urmila has such a fantastic body, now if Rangila, one of the most memorable visuals in that is when she is running on the beach. I don't think that will usually work without what she's wearing, like a swimsuit or something. So the point when I spoke to Pooja initially, of course she coming from the festival, she's not coming from a film background, she comes from a martial artist background. So I told her, now you've got a body which is so perfect in terms of it's inspiration. So in the context when a title shot or a Hrithik Roshan or John Abraham or any of them, all the time they're waiting to show off their bodies, you know. And I think it's a double standard to think a woman should not do that, especially when she's in that the same visual art of filmmaking. So I said, if you do it with conviction, you take a pride in what your body is, that will come out as effective. Because most of the time you're scared of your peers, what they will think, what somebody will say, what somebody will find out. You know, that comes as hardness. Like even in Rangila, I remember my mother, when we used to see Singing in the Rain, as one of the films. So she was used to enjoy a lot of the girls wearing bikinis and all. But she just likes the feel. So I told Rangila, and we're from the same context. But in those days, if you look at some of these Sarkaino Kajala kind of song, where the lyrics and the dance moves are designed to kind of make it look vulgar. Maybe for some sexual bodies, I'm not saying it's wrong or right. But when you feel it's beautiful, it will come across beautiful and people connect to the emotion. So, for example, whatever you saw just now, I would think if she's not very close like that, the precision of her movements and the control of her body will not be the same if she's wearing track pants or some karate dress, for example. Yeah.
Pooja, have you started getting awkward after watching the trailers? Because the trailer is very, very enlightening and it shows you in a very powerful role, you know.
I am getting a couple of offers right now, but I'm choosing every script very, very carefully because I want to do, like in the beginning at least, I want to do action films and the role should be pivotal. I mean, there should be something strong about that role that it should inspire people. I feel that. So I'm choosing script very carefully right now.
No, I don't ever do that, but I definitely am going to make Ladki 2 for sure. Again, the same companies, all of them together. All the scripts work is also done. And the fact, one is I love Bruce Lee, and then I love to see the beautiful body of a woman in front of my camera more than anything else. So in both ways, I think Ladki 2 is on the cards.
Ajit sir, Ladki is very intriguing. What was it that you chose this title? Because there's no objective, no?
The reason
after this, what is it that the Chinese people found fascinating when you sent them the footage to?
See, I But she is doing something probably better than their actors there at the moment. I think this is the combination which works.
I have a question for Ramu. Ramu, basically speaking, whether you agree or not, you are a trendsetter in the sense you used to make raw films with newcomers in the lead, and also you were one of the first filmmakers who dubbed films in Tamil, Telugu and other languages. It was long before the pan-India term was discovered. So how do you feel now that every film made in South is becoming a pan-India film which is being dubbed in 5, 6, 7 languages?
See, to start with, I think, and typically as Indians, we all want to just come up with a term and label. If you remember maybe some 20 years back, when Nice film became a big hit, Monsoon Wedding, they started calling crossover films. We always want to put a name, So, see, eventually, if Hollywood films are released all over the world, but they don't call it a pan-world film, that's a typical Indian mentality. If you remember, even in the time of when the Prabhudeva film, whichever is a big film, used to come and run here also in Hindi. So for a short period that happened, maybe 3-4 years or something. There was instances when something like Hum Aapke Kaun or Nahi Pyar Kiya were dubbed in South, in Telugu and Tamil language, which worked. But what happened recently is the numbers have become so big that they overtook Hindi collection. That is where the shock is. So, the satellite market or the so-called Hindi dubbing market, which was always very weak for many years. But people had this mental block, both in North and South was satellite children. So they never even bothered to check if it will work, if you mix it in the theatre. So they thought they're getting a handsome chunk of money, chalo Hindi dubbing the basic. But they got a shock of their life with Pushpas and KGF 2 and Tripular and all this. So I think now it is a time, especially because of OTT, any good content can be put anywhere. Because if people are watching Malayalam films on OTT, they're sitting in Bollywood, or Korean films. So the whole world is at your disposal. So then a theatrical release is just about your capacity and your own vision of whether it can do well or not. I think that change has come now very suddenly, and it took everybody by surprise. A lot of people have this misconception that Bollywood is shocked about this. So actually, South is equally shocked. It is not true that only Bollywood, because I think now Kannada industry, for example, we were not aware of its existence. Nobody in Andhra Pradesh sees a Kannada film in Telangana or in Tamil Nadu. And now that became the highest grossing Hindi film. A dubbed Hindi film is highest grosser of Indian cinema. Is something which I have never thought of in life.
Yeah. And one question for Pooja. Pooja, आडनाव तुमचा धार्मिक आहे, म्हणजे मराठी तुमचं मदर टंग आहे, पण आता मराठीमध्ये ऑफर मिळाला तर करणार काय?
नक्की सर. Why not? I mean, Marathi is like, I've seen a lot of Marathi do it. अगर कोई अच्छी स्क्रिप्ट हो तो क्यों नहीं?
And what did you like as far as Ramgopal Varma's direction is concerned? Because he has unique, different directorial style.
I think what he has done with Pooja Kane's character, it's just gonna stick with me for the rest of my life. And Pooja Kane and Ladki holds a very special place in my heart. So, जो Pooja Kane का character है वो हमेशा मेरे लिए बहुत ही special है.
रामू सर, आपकी एक फिल्म चीन में भी रिलीज होने वाली है, तो वहाँ के ऑडियंस की पसंद नापसंद को ध्यान रख के कहानी में कुछ आपने बदलाव या कुछ गाइड किया? और दूसरी बात, क्या गाने भी होंगे वहाँ के वर्जन में?
Yes, they're there. See, पहली बात ये है कि the basic point of the story, of course, right from the beginning, she wants to improve her training, and she looks for them. She hears of this one grand old master who's an expert in Jeet Kune. That's where the Chinese character came into the film. And then there is the fact that she obsessed